Hey guys, I'm David with Media Unlocked, and today I'm coming at you with a tutorial on portrait shots. Now we're not going to be using any lighting except what we have naturally right here today. Also, a lot of professional photographers use a lot of different lenses like a 7200 or an 85 1.8 when they do their portrait shots. And I know a lot of my viewers out there probably don't have the nicer lenses. Even I don't have some of the nicer lenses. So I'm going to do my best to explain to you how to get the best possible shot with your kit lens, an 18 to 55. So I've got Anisha, who's a friend and kind of decided to come out and model for me today. And we're going to set up, we're going to try to get some shots. I'm going to try to walk you through it. I'm going to talk through the settings that I'm going to be using, and also we're going to be popping up pictures throughout this so you can actually see what the pictures are looking like as they shoot, so you can see how bad my shot looks or how good it looks. So let's get started. So what I'm going to have you do, Anisha, is I'm going to have you step back here, have you come forward a little bit more. Now, you don't want to get your model too close to whatever you're going to kind of using as your background. Also, remember that your model is kind of whoever you're shooting, that is the main person, the main subject that you're shooting. So you don't want to be bringing in a lot of other stuff around her to be pulling away from the actual model, because we're focusing on the model with this shot. So I'm going to have you stand right there. I'm also using a little step stool here. It helps me get a little elevation so I can get a little bit different shot. Sorry about my wired love, guys. So what I'm going to have you do, looking straight forward, head going this way, bring your chin up just a little bit, bring your eyes open a little bit more. And we're mostly going to be doing kind of from the hip up type shots. So, and let me just pop my camera off here. I always do like to wear a camera strap when I'm doing shots, just because I'm always afraid of dropping my camera when I'm, setting it down on the ground or something like that. I know a lot of photographers do that. But you never know what could happen. So when I'm not actually shooting, I like to just throw it on here, let it hang on the side, and if I need to go run and get some equipment or something like that for the shoot. So I've got my camera set in manual. So I'm just going to try to take a guess at what my settings are going to be. I'm going to throw my shutter at 125. I'm going to throw my f-stop down to 8. Remember that the lighting is constantly changing, so we actually have sun and clouds, so we've got a lot of clouds out today, so the sun's popping in and out. So I have to be able to change my shot depicting the lighting. So remember, once you get your lighting down, you're snapping, that you're changing your shot if the lighting changes, because it's going to constantly change on a day like today where it's overcast and it's then the sun's out. So right now we got complete shadow, so I don't have to worry about getting a lot of crazy shadows on the model. So my shutter's at 125, f-stop at 8, and I'm going to have my ISO at 200. Now again, I'm using the 18 to 55. This is not by any means a portrait shooting lens, but if this is all you have, well, that's all you got to work with. So I'm going to try to help you out on learning how to use it. So I'm going to zoom in. Okay, I'm a little far out. That's the problem with this lens. You got to get in a little bit closer sometimes. All right, bring your chin down just a little bit, head over just a little bit more. All right. All right, so the shot's going to be a little bit dark, so I'm going to set it up. Well, see, now the sun's coming back out, so I'm going to take the same exact shot because it's probably going to be a little less dark. And I'm getting a little bit different shadow on the model. All right, it's a little bit better. I'm going to pop the shutter down to a 100. Again, the shutter speed, we don't got a lot of moving, so I'm not really worried about my shutter speed getting that blur, because it's a very stable shot. All right. All right, that looks a lot better, as you guys can see. But I want to bring down my shutter just a tad bit more. I just want to get a little bit more light on here. And we do have, oh, that looks pretty good. Now we do have the wind today, so the model's hair is going to be kind of a little bit crazy. So you're going to have to work with that a lot probably in post. It's going to make it a little bit difficult to control it. I mean, there's not much you can do about wind. It's not like you can just tell the wind to stop. You just kind of got to work with it or around it. All right. Let's bring this back. Move your head this way. There you go. All right, I like these. Might just darken it, just lighten it up just a tad bit, maybe drop it a stop. And that is great. Okay, so I've got the lighting I like, so hopefully it doesn't change too much here. I'm gonna run with this. The sun's in maybe for like, it looks like, maybe I got 2 minutes of this, if that, maybe 30 seconds. Where the, nope, I've got maybe about a minute before the lighting's gonna change on me again. There you go. Bring the head. That's good. Go back to the same position, Anisha. With the. There you go. Now tilt your head this way a little bit. This way. There you go. And when it comes to portraits, I mostly go long ways. I like to fill the frame. You can do kind of a third shot. You know, throw the camera into thirds. Another thing you want to do is set your white balance. Now I use Magic Lantern. I'll go through and I'll show you where your white balance is set up through through Magic Lantern. But you know, that's a big thing before you start shooting. Kind of get your white balance where you want it at, and then base your ISO, shutter, and aperture around that. All right, there you go. All right, see, now I'm getting a little bit of light around her right side of her face that I'm not really liking. So what I'm going to have you do is maybe move over a little bit here and back up a tad bit. There we go. You're complete. Okay, look this way, up a little bit. Bring your chin down just a tad bit. Now remember, you can get different shots from different angles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down off the step stool. We're going to set up here. Keep that same pose. I'm going to take about 3 or 4 different shots. Just hold that same pose for me. So I'm going to go, different angles can give you a different shot for what you want. As she's holding the pose, just going to keep kind of moving, taking different shots. As you guys can see, kind of the difference in the shot. And make sure you're constantly looking at your frame, you know, not getting something that you don't want in. You know, here with this shot, I kind of got a little bit of this back here, and I really don't want to pull in all this back here in the back if you look straight on down. So I'm going to angle it, maybe zoom in just a little bit so I kind of stay with the tree or the pine trees right here. So I kind of stick with them because I'm using them as kind of my background. Great job. All right. Now I'm just going to kind of go back to shooting kind of straight forward from her. Another thing, you got your focus rings, and we'll go through and I'll kind of explain that, show that here in a second. But you know, you got your automatic focus selection, so you can actually pick where you want the actual point, your focus point set at. I have all my focus points on right now, so it's just kind of doing a generalized focus. But I could pick a specific point, and I will right here, and it's going to focus exactly where I tell it to. So I have the upper focus point, the highest focus point. If you flip it on your side, actually I will just show you guys kind of here. Can we zoom in on this? You might have to drop it. Can you see it all right? So I've got this upper focus point done, or if you do it this way, focus point's going to be here. So you just push this button up here. This is the focus point, so it's going to focus on that. So wherever that's at, when I'm focusing on the model, that's where it's going to try to focus in and shoot. So focus right in on her face, a little bit of, actually focusing right above her eye line. And there we go. But I'm going to go back to all points. I mostly when I do portrait, unless it's something very specific that I'm shooting, I usually use all my F points at the same time. So let's throw your hair back behind your shoulders, and then pull your thing in a little bit. There you go. Now we're gonna shoot from this side. So there you go. Chin down just a tad bit. Kind of crook it this way. There you go. Bring it up a little bit. Perfect. Now my lights changed a little bit, so that was a really over contrast shot right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my shutter up to 1/25th. So this is going to be 1/25th, f-stop at 7.1, and ISO at 200. do the same exact shot. And again, because of the white that she's wearing, we're going to get a real over contrast shot real easy. So again, I'm going to bring my shutter up a little bit more, and we're going to set my shutter at 200. Now that might be too much, it might be a little too dark. So let's see. And that doesn't look too bad. Now the background's a little bit dark, but I can work with that. Again, remember, if you don't get that perfect shot, you can fix a lot of things in post. Always try to have it over contrast instead of under contrast. It's a lot easier to bring the lighting down than it is to actually bring the lighting back up. So if it's really over contrast, it's a lot easier to darken it in post than it is to actually, you know, if it's way under contrast, way too dark, then bring that light, that fill light back in. It's a lot harder to do. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get real close with her here. I'm going to get off the step stool, and we're just going to do some real close and personal shots here. So we're just really going to focus on her face. Bring your chin this way just a tad bit. There you go. Now, I just got a lot closer, so my lighting is going to be a little bit different. I didn't change any settings there. It's probably going to make my shot, it's a little bit dark. I kind of want to bring it up a little bit. So we're going to drop my f down to 6.3. So I'm shooting at a shutter of 200, f-stop at 6.3, and an ISO of 200. So as I was saying, that last shot, it looked really good. Now just the sun went back behind the clouds, so it got a little bit darker, so I'm going to need to lighten the shot up just a tad bit more. Again, a lot of people tell you not to chimp. I actually chimp a fair amount. I want to make sure my shot's good. I do have a pretty good perception of lighting, but I still will chimp from time to time. So, oh, that looks great. Kind of just I'm just going to keep snapping, just give me a couple different poses here, okay? Now, other things when you're working with a model, especially a model that you don't maybe know that well, or you've only worked with a few times. You know, I've known Anisha for quite a while. We've been good friends. You really want to make your model feel comfortable. So when you first start out your shoot, maybe you need to sit down and have a conversation, or when you first start shooting, you know, have the camera in your hands and just talk to the model. You know, how's your day? What's been going on? And maybe you know something, hobby or something that she's into. It's going to loosen her up a little bit, or him. It's just going to make him feel more comfortable around you. A lot of people feel really uncomfortable when you get real close with them in person with the lens, especially if you're using like a 7200. It's a intimidating lens, a lot of people say. So that's the train. Anyways, so you know, you want to make your model really comfortable, because it's going to make that shot look a lot better. As again, I know Anisha, we're really good friends. We've done some shoots in the past, so she's should be pretty comfortable with me today.
Yes, I am.
Awesome. So you know, I'm getting what I want out of her. But some models, somebody that you're just working with brand new, you know, you want to kind of get to know them a little bit, take some interest in them, maybe have that camera in your hand, just kind of snapshots as you're talking to them. So I'm going to take a couple more shots, then we're going to bring out a reflector, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit about using a reflector to get some lighting. You know, we got a little bit of sun, so we can reflect some light, and you know, if you don't have a flash or something, a reflector would be great. Maybe we'll go one long shot. Real tight shot here. And we're gonna bring the shutter down just a tad bit more. Kind of look this way a little bit. There you go. Bring those eyes, shoot those eyes that way. Not your head, just your eyes. I'm gonna get one more of those. I just want a little bit. So we dropped the shutter down to 80. We're using a 6.3 f-stop and a 200. Now, we're going to do that same exact shot, but if I really want to blow out the background and really drop that depth of field, I'm going to drop down to 5.6. So I'm going to bring my shutter probably up to 125 and down to a 5.6. So you're going to see a little bit more depth of field on this shot. And it's a little warm, so drop the shutter down to 100. So we're doing 100 on the shutter, 5.6 on the f-stop, and a 200 ISO. And it's a little over contrast, but again, I can bring it down in post. So one more shot. All right, and the hair got in the way, but that happens with the wind. You just got to work around it. So next what we're going to do is we're going to use a reflector. So we'll be back in a minute. Again, Nick was kind enough to come out and help me out with the videotaping, and he's going to be my reflector guy. So he's going to be bouncing some light onto her. So this is a great way using a reflector to bounce light onto a subject if you don't have a flash or something. So for her skin complexion, I would say the average white person, someone that's very white, like myself, female-wise, I usually use the gold side. But Anisha here's from Nepal. Her skin tone's a little bit yellower, like a golden kind of warmer color. So we're going to be using a silver to bounce off of her to get the shot I really want. So again, we're going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to be standing up here on the stool, and it does help to kind of add an angle. When you're standing up, I like the shots better when I'm standing up on this thing, and I fell off. So you can step back a little bit. All right, get the hair out of your face. It's really windy today, so we're really struggling with hair just being blown into her face. So it kind of sucks, but there's not much you can do about it. So we're going to start with, I'm going to start out with a shutter of 125, f-stop 5.6, and an ISO of 100 for this shot. So I dropped my ISO down from 200 to 100 for this shot because we're going to be getting a little more light. So let's see how that looks. It's going to be, it says a little over, a little too much. Yeah, a little hot, so if we could bring that back just a little bit. I'll have you turn this way, turn your hips this way, bring your head, there you go. No, like, there you go. Bring your head kind of forward, up. There you go. Hello, hair. All right. And so you're going to notice a little shadow on the left side where the jacket's at. So we're going to try to bring that. There you go. Which isn't bad. It's kind of a subtle shadow. Okay, turn your hips this way. There you go. There you go. Perfect. All right, so the lighting looks pretty good there. Actually, I really like the lighting there, so just keep it like that. We're just going to get a couple different poses, a couple different shots. Double check it one more time. Yeah, I really like that lighting, so we're just going to... Were you growling at me over there? No. That was like a grimace growl. You're like, "Arr." Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, the wind is just horrible today. There we go. Kind of turn your hip. No, that way, yeah. That way, because you got that shadow coming when you're shooting straight at him, so it kind of kills the shadow when you turn like that. There you go. Perfect. Kind of look at me a little bit. Up. There you go. Use those eyes, open them up a little bit more. All right. Kind of give me a closed mouth smile. Not a huge smile, but kind of. All right. All right, let's take a look, see how those are coming out. Pretty good. I brought my shutter up to 160. It was a 125th. So a couple more shots. Again, guys, this 18-55 is not what you want to be using to shoot portraits, but people that do have an 18-55, hopefully you can take away some of this information and use it until you can afford a better lens. So, so that's pretty much all I've got to show you guys today. I appreciate you guys checking out this video. Hopefully it helps you out. Leave any comments or messages. Just be more than happy to answer them. Nick, I appreciate you guys coming out. So if you guys want to send him a thank you in a comment, telling him thanks for coming out and helping me out today with this. It was great. Again, Anisha, thanks for coming out and helping me out. So I'll catch you guys next time. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter at DAVIDDIMAGES.